Saturday. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Hello, it's your girl Sharita, the Behavior and Learning Strategist, coming at you from the Morgan Unlimited Growth Institute. I want to talk to y'all today about a post that I shared to my page. And it said, when I was a kid, I thought our parents were so strict. Now that I see these kids today, I think our parents saved our lives. That's what the post said, okay? So I shared it because I agree 100%. I agree 100%. When we were kids, we were younger, things that our parents were really strict about, we thought they were so hard on us. We didn't like it. We used to protest. But now that I'm older, I understand, okay? And I find us being caught between wanting our kids to have everything we never had or have all the experiences that we didn't have, or we don't want to be too hard on them, or we want them to be able to express themselves, and we focus so much on that we are not focusing on what will happen if. The focus is mostly on giving them whatever they want, not saying no, allowing them to express themselves in a way that is not productive, right? What will happen? What is happening? Because we're not being strict enough on our kids. Are we allowing our kids to have too much leeway, to make too many of their own decisions, to not have a standard? Are we allowing them to kind of be lazy? Are we allowing them to have too little responsibility because we felt as kids we had too much responsibility? What is going on? Okay. I think that a lot of us are looking at our own childhoods and we're like thinking about our childhood in the lens of a child at times. What we didn't like or what we felt was wrong at the time. Now, granted, I'm not saying that we had perfect childhoods, okay? But what I am saying is there's a reason that most of us now today have a good, strong work ethic, can get things done, can function independently, you know what I mean? Can think, can handle life situations, right? There's a reason for that. I know personally for myself, I mean, my business is with children. I tutor and coach children, and I work with families. But I know I'm the oldest of 7 children, and I helped take care of my brothers and sisters when we were younger. And I also learned how to cook and clean. I learned how to cook for a huge family. Like, I could cook big meals. So much so that when I got out on my own and I was cooking for myself and then my future husband, right? We were just starting out and I was having a hard time cooking for just 2 people, okay? All right. Also learned how to get a job, how to work hard. I had this very strong work ethic, how to get things done, how to think, how to figure things out, okay, and how to problem solve. And when I tell you all of that helps me now to this day, okay? So I'm saying this because when I look at our kids today, and not only students that come into my program, and also when I visit classrooms and I observe in classrooms, I see kids. I see a total, and it's not for every kid. And if it doesn't apply to your child, let it fly. But I'm just saying what I see that is problematic. I see a lack of discipline, okay? Lack of motivation, lack of work ethic, and too much free reign to do whatever they want to do. And then they feel entitled to do and say whatever they feel like doing and saying, okay? For example, if they're in the class and they feel like being on their cell phone and the teacher is teaching they'll pull out their cell phones. It's become such a problem that in some school districts, my daughter's school district included, they have implemented a yonder pouch where they confiscate the cell phones and the kids have to put them in these pouches and they get locked up, right? We would not have thought we would not even thought about doing that when we were younger. The teacher standing up in front of the class and the teacher started talking, your mouth was closed and you listening to the teacher, or you be in big trouble. You will have a problem. Okay? All right? Sometimes kids even argue back and forth with teachers. And when I was growing up, I don't remember us arguing back and forth and being disrespectful to a teacher. If that did happen, you were in big trouble and you got suspended right away. And then when you went home, you had a big problem. And I remember my mother told me, never argue with an adult. If you feel like something is wrong or something isn't fair, tell me. And I will deal with that adult. Don't you ever. Okay? And that keeps kids safe, because you're not trying to go toe to toe with an adult. You're not arguing with an adult, right? So there are certain things that our parents taught us, and we had accountability, okay? And I don't really see that today with our kids today. I see a lot of our kids being lazy, having to be pushed to do what they're supposed to do, not staying on top of their schoolwork. The parents and the teachers all around trying to help and trying to figure out what to do to help them if they're failing or if they have a hard time in school. You know what I mean? And I think it's a bit too much. I think we need to be stricter with our kids. And this is how. I think we need to say no more often. I think we need to set requirements for our children. They always want something, okay? Whether it's they want us to buy them something, or they want to just chill and be on their phone or be on a game, or whether they want dessert and they didn't have dinner yet. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's always something that kids want, and it might not be what's best for them. And we as parents always are continuously having to make the what is best for my child decision. And it's an unpopular decision. It's our job, though. And the reason why it's unpopular is because our children, they don't always like what we have to say. But we need to say no more often. We need to set structure around what our kids want. We need to set standards and requirements. Okay? When I was younger, that TV better not be on if your room not clean. And on a weekend, it's time to clean up the house. Your chores got to be done before you go outside. You understand what I'm saying? Like, all these things had to be done before we were able to do what we wanted to do. We had requirements, okay? So I think we need to say no more often. And I think we need to set requirements for our kids. I think we need to make sure that they understand that there's reciprocity in this. If they want something and they want us to spend our money on something, we require something from them, and they must do it first. This is how they develop a work ethic. Also, I feel like we need to be stricter in our standards, how we do things. Don't just accept what our kids give us the first time. Okay? We need to start saying, do it again. Fix it. I need it better than this. We need to start saying that. And at first, and this is what stops many of us from doing that, our kids will complain and all this other stuff, and then they might think this or say this, and then we might believe it as well. I can't do it, or it's hard, I need help, right? We need to be stricter. The more we tell our kids to do it again, the better they get. The growth is what I'm talking about here. Okay? So being strict means saying no. Being strict means saying do it again. Being strict means saying no until you do this. Okay? That is setting those requirements for them to complete what you need them to do. What do you think is going to happen when we do this at home? When they're in the classroom If they hear no, it won't be such a big deal. When they're in the classroom and they hear that, okay, you have to complete your work first before you can go to the bathroom. You understand what I'm saying? Bathroom breaks are after this. And I visited schools, and I was a teacher, special education teacher, Equipment Street School in Newark. So I know teachers, and I know that there are multiple bathroom breaks. Like the teacher, especially for the younger grades, they take the students to the bathroom, okay? There's the times for the bathroom when you're supposed to be using the bathroom. It's not like the teacher be having the kids in class all day and never send them to the bathroom. That's not what happened. That's not what happened when I was there. I made sure that we had times for the bathroom, and I trained my students to use the bathroom during those times, because when it's time for them to sit down, and it's time for us to work, that's not time for you to actually use the bathroom. Okay, so we need to be stricter with our kids about our requirements and about routine. So when they're in school and they hear no, they're not losing their minds. Okay, we need to be stricter with our kids with how they do things for us at home. We need to set high standards. We need to say, do it again. It's not right yet. Keep going. All right, good job. This is how I want it, okay? So that when they're in school, they do the same thing with their schoolwork, okay? This is developing their work ethic. Another thing we need to say no to, sometimes they might want to participate in things that we don't feel comfortable with, but other kids are doing it, and then we might feel like the bad person for saying no. As parents, trust your gut. As parents, make a decision as to what you want your child exposed to and what you want your child involved in. Okay? That is your right and your job as a parent. Okay? So sometimes we say no. I know of situations where parents have, and this is when I was growing up, said no to their kids going to, or friends of mine going to sleepover, you know what I mean? And then finding out later that kids were being abused at that sleepover. No. You say no. If it don't feel right to you, you say no, okay? Say no more often. And instead of worrying about saying no and how that's going to affect your kids, and setting these requirements and making them work harder, and then making them how they're going to feel about it, how about let's focus on when we get past the point where they are complaining and whining, don't want to do it, crying, and even all this other stuff. When we get past that part to the part where they are used to it now and they're actually working harder, how about we focus on that? The kids are going to be so much happier. They're going to feel so accomplished. They're going to be so much more successful. They're going to be doing better at home and at school. Okay, so we're not going to focus on right now. We're a society where we always looking at the results right in front of our faces, or the outcomes, or the reactions, or we look at that, and then we make a decision. We pull back. Come on, you cannot pull back at the first piece of resistance or opposition or defiance, or them looking like they're not happy. We cannot put, or other people criticizing you because they feel like you're being too strict. That's going to happen anyway. We cannot pull back and give in and give up because other people don't see what we're doing with our kids. If you want to be a strict parent, and you, as a matter of fact, look at your child right now and ask yourself, do you feel that your child needs a stricter parent? Then move forward. Nothing else matters. Because once you start being stricter, once you start saying no more, and once you start teaching your child how to turn no into yes, you know what I mean? Or if it's delayed gratification that they have to work for, they have to earn it. Once you start doing that and you start making decisions based on your your gut, your mom intuition, whatever you want to call it, and not based off of what your kids want and what everybody's doing around you with their kids and what's popular on social media, honey. You want to see a transformation with your child. And then, you know what? It's between you and your child, because at the end of the day, you your child's first teacher, okay? Or dad, like from start to finish. So don't worry about what everybody else is doing. If you find yourself saying, man, back in the day, we never did this, or back in the day, and I know, like I said, because I know some of y'all gonna jump and defend, and some of y'all gonna start talking about how bad your childhood was. I'm not talking about that. Listen, we over here throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I don't like say stuff like that, that expression, but that's exactly what we're doing. We're taking our past, our childhood, and we're labeling it as all bad. And we're throwing everything out and trying to be a brand new parent, when we have generations and we have our ancestors that's been teaching us how to be parents for generations. Okay? Is it perfect? No, but nothing is. So we're gonna have to take those nuggets that we learned that was good. We're gonna have to take those nuggets and we're gonna have to keep going. We have to teach our children this, because our children are going to grow up and not have the work ethic that they need, okay, and not be successful, all right, because we have not prepped them, because we were too afraid to say no, we were too afraid to say do it again, we were too afraid to say your teacher better not call me, okay. We were too afraid to say stuff like that, and instead we were allowing them too much free reign and saying yes to everything. Let's get it together. Let's become stricter parents. And that's something that I had to learn, because when I first was a parent, I understand how a lot of y'all feel. Like, I was trying to do everything brand new. You understand what I'm saying? I was trying to do everything brand new. And I wasn't trusting myself. And I had to change a lot. I had to change myself a lot. And I had to become a stronger and become a stricter parent. And that grew my first daughter. And now I'm much better with my second daughter, okay? So I'm saying this not just from observing and pointing. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm saying this because I'm a mom who's made mistakes. Okay, and I've learned, and I've worked hard to grow myself and figure this thing out. Saying no is not going to kill our kids. Okay, it's not going to kill them. They're going to be fine. It's not going to hurt them. They're going to be fine, and they will grow to figure out how to earn and how to do better and how to meet the standards they put in place. And that's how we send them to school equipped for success. So they are doing their best at school too. All right. So just want to holler at y'all real quick about that. All right. Thank you so much for hanging with me today. Love y'all so much. For the kids, I want you to say, I am intelligent. I am smart. I always figure this out. I got this. All right. And then for parents, believe in yourself. Believe in your child, honey. And always remember that growth is unlimited. Peace.